So today I am going to demonstrate writing my first ebook using my GPT that I created for everyone. So as you can see, my first book, I've already mixed it out how I'm going to want to do it. So this is going to be the REN files for the dopamine. And we're going to talk about here is my journey to ADHD. So I have a different GPT and thread that I brainstorm in, and then I use something else to bounce it out to. So I'm going to go ahead and use Coach R.E.N. Inkspire. Here we go. And it says, that sounds fantastic and deeply personal book, REN. The REN Files, Follow the Dopamine is a compelling title, and it sets the stage for a unique blend of storytelling and insight into ADHD. Would you like to start with a brain dump of your early experiences, a structured outline of the book, or refining an idea for the overall message? A few guiding questions to help shape the book's directions. What were the first signs of ADHD in your life? What does follow the dopamine mean to you personally? Were there any moments or breakthroughs that changed how you saw ADHD? Do you want this to be more of a memoir style, self-help, or a mix of both? Let me know how you'd like to begin. So as of right now, the first thing I want Coach R.E.N. to do is slow thee down. I'll slow TF down. Don't give me all these questions at one time. So I'm going to tell her, please only give me one question or one task at a time. I would like this book to be a mixture of how I work with my ADHD to be successful, while mixing it with some personal anecdotes from my life that help me frame myself in these moments. I would like you to act as a ghostwriter maybe, or interview me and ask me some questions that will lead me to be able to write a book to meet my goal. All right, so I'm gonna send that out. She says, got it. Let's start with the foundational question. What's one personal anecdote from your life that perfectly illustrates what follow the dopamine means to you? Take your time and just describe the moment as if you were telling a friend. We'll refine it later. I don't have an answer to that right now because, okay, I do actually. Okay, so follow the dopamine is a phrase I developed when I developed my influencer named Randomly REN. I actually was working in a sales position at the time, and let's just say the last few years of my life had compounded on me. It was a lot, going through some family issues, health issues. It just was a lot. And so this is also coincides the first time I really was able to say this is depression. Because honestly, most of us didn't know that we had ADHD at a young age. A lot of people don't realize that they're depressed. And I know I didn't, because I thought depression was almost a choice to not do XYZ. I didn't realize it was a whole paradigm shift where you actually feel okay not doing the things that basic humans do as far as personal hygiene and cleaning your home and things like that. I didn't realize that that was depression. So that was the first time I was able to have a depression episode and say, this is depression. So I sought out to do one thing that made me happy, that would help get me back into the habit of doing certain things that I enjoyed. I have a big, huge jacuzzi. And honestly, I didn't want to get in it, and soak like I normally did. That's just not what I wanted to do. So I got into skincare, actually. Okay, so I think it wasn't the jacuzzi thing. So one day I was walking past a mirror, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I saw pores. And I'm like, oh my God, no. I was turning 40 the next year. Like, I haven't seen a pore in my life. And so I started diving into skincare and learning little things. And from that, it evolved into body care. And that's when I was like, follow the dopamine. Because as a strategist, I always analyze what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it. I'm always very strategic in how I do things. And I guess my mindset was this. It was, if I'm going to do it, and this is my motto with all of my hobbies, I don't do expensive hobbies. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to figure out how to capitalize on it. and not just for the sake of capitalizing, even if it's just a break even and not have that money gone. So I started doing skincare videos about it so I can, and I'm an Amazon affiliate, and I followed my dopamine to that place where I actually did a wonderful job on my body skin. I've helped several members of my family. That's when I started the retinol. That's when I became the skincare freak that I am, with over 150 products that I only use about a tiny spot full of nightly. All right, that's a powerful story, both in how you recognize depression for what it was and how following the dopamine led you into skincare, which became both a passion and a strategic move. It's a perfect example of how ADHD brains can turn hyperfocus into something meaningful and profitable. Let's shape this into a compelling opening anecdote for your book. Would you like me to draft a first-person narrative version of this, or would you rather reflect on it a bit more and refine the details? Well, this is what I will say. Let's go ahead and shape this into a compelling anecdote for my book. Follow the dopamine. She's writing in Canvas now. I didn't know I was depressed, not at first. I knew I was exhausted. I knew I was overwhelmed, but I didn't have the language to call it what it was. Depression to me had always seemed like a choice. Someone just decided not to get up, not to clean, not to take care of themselves. I didn't realize it was more insidious than that. I didn't realize that one day I'd look around and see that I had quietly stopped doing the things that made me feel human. Okay, it took something as simple as a mirror to make me see it. I was walking past my bathroom mirror one day, and when I stopped, I don't know what made me look, but I did. And for the first time, I noticed my skin. Not just my skin, but my pores. Large, visible, undeniable. I had never seen my pores before, and I was suddenly aware that I was turning 40 next year. It hit me like a shockwave. The tiny moment of vanity, that tiny surge of alarm, became my lifeline. Because if I couldn't force myself to do the things I used to do, maybe I could follow the one thing that sparked even a flicker of motivation. So I did. I started researching skincare. I dove headfirst into learning everything I could about serums, exfoliates, retinols. At first, it was just about my face, but then it expanded to body care. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to try. The more I tried, the better I felt. The dopamine rush of discovery, of improvement, of control, it pulled me forward. But I wasn't just consuming knowledge, I was strategizing too, because that's how my brain works. If I'm going to throw myself into something, I'm going to figure out how to make it sustainable. I don't do expensive hobbies. I'm going to invest in a way to at least break even. So I started sharing what I was learning. I made videos, became an Amazon affiliate, and suddenly something that had started as a lifeline became a launch pad. That's when I coined the phrase, follow the dopamine, because that's what I was doing. I wasn't fighting my brain anymore. I was working with it. I was letting curiosity lead me out of the fog, and step by product, I found my way back to myself. So this is actually perfect. I personally wouldn't change anything in this because this is me. That's exactly how it started, diving in all of the stuff, and that's it. So it's like that, bam, right there. My first, this thing is written, what do you call it? My intro or whatever. So from here, I'm going to select it and select it all. Oh, shoot. Let me use two hands. And I am building this. This is actually, I'm testing Chat GPT 4.5 right now. So it's built on that framework. Me, what's a little easier, I take 5 or 10 minutes of the day and do this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my, let's see, the R.E.N files right here. All right, so here I'm going to put, I'm going to ask Chat for a name for it. Since I already copied it, I want to go ahead and paste it. Great question. Since this is your first foundational anecdote, you might want to title it something specific that helps you track it with the larger follow the dopamine structure. Here are a few options. Follow the dopamine, the first spark, the mirror moment, Chapter 1, seeing myself, how skincare saved me. Part 1, learning to follow the dopamine. I love things that make you think. So I think I'm going to go with the mirror moment. I'm pasting that right there. I'm going to grab this. That's done. I'm going to let Coach R.E.N know. Perfect. The mirror moment is a strong and memorable title. It'll immediately capture the turning point in your story. Now that you have this section saved, what would you like to build on next? We can explore what happened after. How did following the dopamine shift your daily life? Introduce another key moment. Was there another time when this mindset helped you to overcome a challenge? Start mapping out the book's structure. How do you want these stories to flow together? What feels like the next right step for you? So for me, I would rather just get all the content out or get a good bit of content out and then worry about structure and flow. That's how I operate. And this one was pretty much a perfect example. I really want you guys to see what happens when it generates something that's not me, that doesn't sound like me, that is completely false about me, because ChatGPT be making shit up sometimes. But yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. But if you guys keep watching, I'll do the next video of this and release it so you can see how it is. Now, if the first part of this really inspired you, I'm definitely going to encourage you to join our 90-day challenge so that you can finally get that book out as well. I mean, I don't know how long I've been recording, but I did that in 10 or 15 minutes. That's it. So hit me up if you would like to join the 90-day challenge.